Good night,
Well, we're here. Joe Dog is here with audio only. Maybe we should just wait here till he starts the show.
That could be an awkward half-hour silence.
Yeah, because he does get stubborn at times. Okay, folks, welcome to Stupid O'Clock. None of us are Joe Dog McKeel.
And if we were, would we claim that we were?
Up there we go.
Sorry, Jehovah's Witnesses were knocking on the door.
You haven't
Did
gotten
you
rid
have
of
time to put your pants back on?
Yeah, well, I didn't get that far. I heard a report today. I saw a report today online explaining why girls watch Netflix with the subtitles because they don't know how to listen.
Somewhere Kiri is taking notes.
My wife just started cackling upstairs, and she has no idea why.
What? She's not one that does that, is she?
Oh, no, she is.
Yeah. I got some good ones for tonight.
Thanks for the warning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Don missed it. Dadgummit.
You say you have good ones.
Yeah.
And then he never uses them. Just like the British Empire conquered the world for spices and never used a damn one in their cooking.
Nope. Yeah. I got
Lindsay-
it. I don't think it's a good joke. I'm going to save it for a little later.
Okay.
You're going to save it in hopes that Kiri shows up.
No.
Lindsay asked me how I prepared the hamburgers we had last week because she thought they were just outstanding, just greatest flavor ever. And I'm searching back in my mind and I'm going salt, pepper, butter, cast iron frying pan, flip them once, put cheese on it. I can't remember anything else I put on it. Maybe some of Christine's grub rub. If I didn't do that, then I'm going to the next time I cook them.
What?
I'm just remembering Sunday night, mine and Lindsay's wedding anniversary, 18 years.
Congratulations.
I will be installing a new water heater for our anniversary. Well, it'll probably be delivered 2 days later, so I'm not going to install it on the day. But that is the anniversary gift is a brand new water heater and a few other bits and bobs of plumbing. Uh, and then I will have to pull the stove out from the wall and wire in an actual socket rather than having the stove hardwired to the 220.
I think that. Never mind. No. Yeah, you need to do that.
Well, I mean, the last two have worked just fine with them being hardwired. That was the way it was when I bought the house, so it was within code at the time the house was built 70 years ago.
It's just nice to be able to unplug your stove.
Yes, I know. When we get a new stove and refrigerator, part of the delivery deal is they'll take away the old ones. Not if I have to rewire the pigtail. So I'm going to have to pull the stove out before we even buy a new one.
Put a pigtail on it.
Well, it's got a pigtail, but it's hardwired. I'm going to have to put a plug in.
Yeah.
And put a different pigtail on it.
Go ahead and buy your outlet at the same time. That way you get the matching pair.
Yeah. Hell, I was the one that did it for the last two stoves, so can't be that damn hard.
Well, that gets me is when you buy a stove or refrigerator or dryer, they tell you have to have a new pigtail. Oh, I got a pigtail. No, you can't use your old pigtail because it's against the law or it's against code. So they charge you extra.
As far as I know, the stove's going to come with a pigtail on it ready to plug in.
No, you're going to have to buy a pigtail for it.
That'll be the first time.
Now, that's just the way it's been for the last 30 years. Stoves and dryers. And dryers and stove have different pigtails. The outlets are different. Learned that one the hard way, too.
I could see that. I mean, one probably needs more gas than the other.
Well, these are totally electric, so.
Well, what he means by gas is juice.
Okay. Sorry, I was being literal.
See? Even Carl agrees with me. Yeah, the manufacturers struck a deal with the company that makes pigtails. We won't sell our equipment with pigtails if you keep giving us money.
Dawn's right. Knew the cords were different and 3 or 4 prong. I know that 4 prong is the standard for mobile homes.
Yeah. What the 4 prong is has a extra ground in it. So they can charge you extra. So the electricians can charge you extra.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we had the house fire, our dryer had the 3 prong. When electricians came in to rewire everything, they had to put in a 4-prong on the dryer. And the reason is wet clothes are going into the dryer. If there's a short, it goes directly through the ground and not through you. Just more
Or
ways.
it's beginning to look like I'll just wire up the cable that I've got on the back of the stove now to the new stove, and
Be done with it.
yeah. I mean, it'll be another 20 years before I have to replace it again, and by that time, I either won't be here or I'll be too old to be doing electrical stuff, so I'll have to hire somebody, and I'll just gladly pay them for the problem.
Oh.
Oh, Michaela just got a proof copy of the third Rogue Stone Triple X book.
Oh.
Adjusting it now.
And Dawn's sort of agreeing with. Yeah. You got a 3-prong or a 4-prong? Put them both on the truck and take the one back you don't need.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they get mad when you tell them that.
Yeah, screw with them. Tell them you got a 6-prong.
Just screw them and tell them it's hardwired into the wall. I mean,
what gets me is, you know how they have the stackable washer and dryers?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They put the washer on the bottom and the dryer on top.
And the pigtail does not reach.
Well, yeah. But when you go to, you've got to lift the heavy, wet clothes up into the dryer.
Yeah.
Why not put the washer on top?
Because it would be top heavy.
Well, there's ways around that.
And it would do this when it was washing clothes.
Hey, some pipe strap and a couple of big bolts
into
a
a
2x4.
On the floor, too.
Yeah, but it's on the floor where it's supposed to be. If you put it up there, it will be on the floor where it's not supposed to be.
Mount it to the freaking studs to the wall, studs of the wall.
I wouldn't trust the studs in this house to hold it. I wouldn't trust the studs in most houses to hold it.
Oh, John, you didn't see what fun I had with the 3D printer today.
Is that for your SpaceX helmet?
No, that's for my cat.
Oh.
But she doesn't like it.
Oh, yes. Dawn is definitely on drugs. Unless she meant Bachman.
Yeah, she had to me. I mean, if you notice, I didn't pay no damn attention to it.
Even if she did mean me, the drugs haven't fully worn off yet. There's only 2 things that make me look good. Plenty of alcohol. No, Dan, you have not hit that point yet.
Never will.
Oh, about the guy with the 6-pack in his buggy and his wife putting hundreds of dollars of makeup in the cart at Walmart.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't buy that beer. It's too expensive. Go to the makeup aisle. She's buying all that. What you buying that for? Oh, it makes me look pretty. So does the beer, and it's cheaper.
The court date is pending.
Yeah, for her murder trial.
Oh.
Oh.
No, Lindsay and I have a deal. I let her buy whatever she wants. And I don't say I told you so if it turns out to be the wrong thing. And she lets me buy whatever I want. And I never tell her how much it cost. Although in the case of the water heater, I'll have to because the credit card's in her name. That particular one, because it was a big box store building supply thing, which I would never have bought a card for or got a card for, but she did. So
Was it orange, blue, or yellow?
yes, orange.
Okay. Orange.
Uh,
That's a word Joe may or may not know.
I can honestly say I have not heard that one before.
Yeah, there's them orange barrels behind you.
yeah.
Oh man,
And if you really want to get tricky, every third one's full of concrete instead of water.
oh, I wish those were full of water.
They'd stand up a little better.
Yeah, really. They wouldn't get knocked down by the cars driving past
Now,
just
do
from
you
the breeze.
Joe, don't tell him. Dan, you know what they use to hold them down?
Jimmy Hoffa?
No. An old truck tire that's, blown out or can't be recapped. They cut the tread area off of it and it fits directly over the barrel and holds the barrels down.
I'll take
That
your
rubber-
word for it.
Joe, confirm?
That's pretty much what they look like. I don't know if that's
Mhm.
exactly what they use up here, but that's essentially what they look like. They look like they're off the side of a old truck.
Ham radio and shortwave guys have a saying: when I die, I just hope my wife doesn't sell my radios for what I told her I paid for them. Daddy
That-
used to say the same thing about his fishing tackle. I hope my wife doesn't sell that rod for what I told her I paid for it.
Or the gun collector.
Ooh, no, there's no. Those are staying in the family. I might have to Indian wrestle my brother for one or two of them, but we are far too red of the neck to be selling firearms. They just get passed down to future generations. Right now, we could probably outfit an entire platoon. I had one cousin, his collection could outfit a brigade. Basically, instead of having paneling in his living room, it was just gun racks, vertical. And
Good
you
Lord.
could not see the walls for all the hunting rifles.
Oh. Video I saw today, this guy had, like the gun racks and all that. And this odd picture in the middle of the wall. But if you opened it up, it had hinges. And if you opened it up, it had the code to the safe on the wall, written on the safe. Guy says, "Why did you do that?" And he says, "Open it." He went, "Okay." He punched in the numbers, opened it, and those springy snakes in the can? This went on. There was probably 80 feet of them damn things shoved down into a tube behind the wall.
Oh, Jesus.
Some people are really sadistic.
Well, could you imagine opening that up at night and all that's all coming out at you?
Oh, the puddle that would have to be cleaned up from that.
There
I
is
think
a part of the Rio Grande in Texas where they've been having problems with people coming across the border.
Mhm.
And turns out there is an alligator living there now in the Rio Grande. They're not sure if it swam there naturally or if somebody has placed it there. but people are like, alligators in the moat.
It's just because piranhas are too expensive to import. Uh,
Yeah, and they'll swim out to the ocean.
they're not saltwater, they're a freshwater fish.
I know, but still, they would make their way to the ocean.
Well, they aren't bright.
Oh, have you seen the Bill Dance? Was it Bill Dance or the other guy? Went on a fishing trip on the Amazon River and they were fishing for piranha.
Nope.
They're supposed to be fairly tasty.
Well, the only Bill Dance I know of is a former music director at University of
no.
Georgia.
Bill Dance, he's from Tennessee. He's a fisherman. And,
Oh, okay. I kind of figured they weren't the same person.
He's a big pro bass fisherman and all sorts of stuff. Okay. And according to my dad, who used to be one of the pro bass fishermen as well, he's a boat hog. He will run the trolling motor and put himself in the best position for casting into spots and leave you hung out to dry. So he popped Bill Dance in the back of the head of a fishing lure once.
You see his videos all the time where one time he was mad or something, threw his fishing rods up in the truck, slammed the tailgate and went, doggone it. All the tips were still hanging out at the end of the tailgate.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's what you get when you lose your temper.
My favorite one was he's trying to find a spot where he can cast. Damn near stepped on a water moccasin.
There was a lot of bleeps on that one.
Oh, there's a lot of bleeps on that one. Because
never seen a man walk off water that fast before.
Well, no, it was that muddy, murky, swampy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to get from tree root to tree root without stepping in the muck. And it just so happens there was
one of the tree roots was not a tree root. Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, but they said that was the
Could
best.
we show that? If I were to find that, could we show that?
No.
Probably not. I wouldn't take a chance. I mean, Joe Dog, do you know we actually had a copyright claim on that national anthem video?
The new national anthem?
Mm-hmm. It's not a copyright strike. It is a claim. I don't know if it's the animator or whoever made that crappy recording of the music.
Well, it says, if you notice, I let it run to show the copyright free.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, that's why it's not a strike. It's just a claim.
Well, there's no copyright. There's no copyright. It's royalty free is what it says.
Yeah, royalty free, not copyright free. They're not the same thing.
Yeah, well, fuck them.
Well, I mean, you can keep using it.
I didn't get a notification of it.
I went to the basic StreamYard account.
Yeah.
Just to look around and see if I could download stuff just in case I needed copies that I don't have on this new computer. And it was right there. I didn't have to go and hunt for it. It seemed kind of obvious in one of the little menu categories, but I relaxed after I saw it wasn't a strike. So
yeah, well, they try to claim anything.
I know.
I don't see it, so evidently it's gone.
It's been dismissed,
I guess.
Probably some Middle Eastern country again trying to claim the national anthem because they don't like it.
Yeah. Oh well.
How expensive is it to go down and get your wife signed up for power of attorney if something happens to you and vice versa?
I think
$10, $20. It's not much.
notary
Just a notary?
probably.
Okay. We can do that at the bank. I have to look up and see if there's a special form for it for Georgia.
Looking right now.
Lindsay's become concerned about our rapidly vanishing youth.
Yeah.
Okay, there's something for Michaela. Those of you who might come see me this weekend have 3 proof copies of the books. You can see them before anybody else. That's good to know. Michaela, you might want to drop in a hint as to where you will be, and we'll put that up on the screen for everybody too. Carl says, ask at your doctor's office or hospital. That'd be great, unless I don't have a doctor's office, and if I walk in the hospital, they charge me.
They're not going to let him back out.
No, they'll charge me about $1,000 just because I came in there and didn't have a broke leg or something.
I think it costs $300 just to drive past a hospital nowadays.
I just sent you the durable power of attorney for Georgia.
Oh, thank you. Which address did you send it to, or is it in Messenger?
Messenger.
Okay, that's even better.
That way you can find it faster.
Yep. We established a joint savings account here early this year. I'm not satisfied with the interest rates whatsoever. It was supposed to be really high interest. It's fractions of a penny more than a regular savings account. And we're going to have to get a joint checking account on that same. If anything happens to you or if anything happens to me.
Just speaking from experience being in the military, I always told my guys, get separate checking accounts. Don't get a joint.
We've already got separate checking accounts and separate savings accounts.
I would stick with that. Just make sure everybody knows.
No. She's worried that if anything happens to me, she won't be able to pay my bills, and I'll have all this money in the checking account that she won't be able to get a hold of. That's one of the reasons why I asked about the power of attorney, because that way she won't be breaking any laws, going in there going, transfer.
Because you would get these guys that would join the military with a brand new wife, and of course they had the money going direct deposit into the account, but they would have, both of them would be using the same checks on the same account. He'd be in the field for 2 or 3 weeks writing checks when he needed to, and she'd be back at home writing checks. And by the time they got home, they had both spent, $1,000 worth of checks on $1,000 worth of checking, and we're now $1,000 in the hole.
Yeah. Well,
plus the
overdraft fees and
the Peoria, Illinois Civic Center, downtown Peoria.
I know it
Folks,
well.
If you're looking for Michaela, that's where she'll be.
When I was playing Rampage, that was one of the buildings I used to always destroy with the kaiju.
So. Why do I get the feeling we just did another free ad for Nick's Big Stompy Robots?
Because we did.
I'm going to have to start getting the accountant to start watching these shows so we can start charging some of these people for this stuff.
Whatever do you mean?
Hey, we got to get some income somewhere. Ain't nobody buying T-shirts or coffee mugs anymore.
Well, you never advertise them.
Really? You've never made any ads for the channel or for the
No,
merch.
he used to pop them up every so often. Hey, go buy our coffee mugs.
We've got an entire directory full of good night everybody's. There's no room for ads anymore. I mean, sure, the good night everybody's are fun. But you got to set aside space to run ads every once in a while.
Oh, that's just creepy. I'm looking at 3D files.
Oh,
Yeah, that does sound creepy.
do you remember they had this fighter ship from the movie The Last Starfighter called Gunstar?
Yes.
Mhm.
Somebody made it. It's $20 to buy it. A 3D printing thing for it, and it looked good. If what I saw was actually what was 3D printed and painted, it looked good. Look better than the one on the screen in the original movie, that's for sure.
Oh, talking about the ships. I was watching a video this week about Glenn Larson and his space movies.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers' Starfighter was the original concept for the Colonial Viper.
Didn't Ralph McQuarrie design that?
I don't remember. But yeah, that was...
Oh, whoever it was that did the ship designs for Galactica, the original Galactica.
Yeah.
And the Vipers and everything, not the revival series, because somebody else did that. I'm fairly sure.
But they did a lot of the new series did throw a lot of throwbacks to the original.
No good.
Or callbacks. But yeah, and if you notice, Glenn Larson used a lot of Battlestar Galactica footage.
Oh, match shots of ships and things?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Buck Rogers. Like the cockpit and the joystick was the exact same.
It was cheaper that way.
And it was the same hand on every one because they were always wearing gloves.
That's like Jerry Anderson. Whenever one of the puppets had to push a button or flip a lever, you had a live shot of a human hand manipulating the control. It was usually Jerry because he didn't have to pay himself.
Yeah. Oh, and the opening scene of Star Wars, Lucas finally revealed how it was filmed.
Which opening scene are we talking?
Of Star Wars.
Okay, A New Hope. Gotcha.
The thing was, the original was, bah, 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 and it shows the Star Wars logo, and then it showed the Rebel blockade. Well, then it showed the script, and it showed the Rebel blockade runner running away from the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, the blockade runner scene. It was actually filmed from the back. Everything was flipped upside down. It was filmed from the engine view of the Star Destroyer all the way up in a super slow mode all the way up to pass the blockade runner. Then they flipped the film, ran it backwards at an even slower speed.
Okay, that's
Okay.
imaginative.
That's
was
why
very-
That's
It
why
was
it
very
looks
effective.
so big.
Yeah, that's one. It's hard to get. It's hard to convey on a movie screen a big ship. Okay, it's just that the scale doesn't translate well. And if you've ever been near a big ship, I mean, hey Zach, get in here.
Well, I mean, when the first 30 minutes of the film is the ship flying overhead before the opening credits.
I break for nobody. Oh, sorry, wrong movie.
Wrong movie.
They're
Yeah,
very similar.
That was
It's
the
easy to do.
most. That's the one thing I remember the most of the first movie was that, you know, the laser beams coming by, and then the little blockade, and you're thinking, man, that thing's huge. And then here comes the Star Destroyer, and it's like,
Mm.
is it ever gonna stop?
And then he went through every movie after that, making the shot longer and longer and longer.
In the second movie, they wanted to make Darth Vader's Star Destroyer look different than the other Star Destroyers. So he ordered the art department to paint Darth Vader's Star Destroyer blue. Well, they only had one Star Destroyer model. And they got to thinking about it and said, if we paint this thing blue, that jackass is going to want us to scrape all that blue paint off and paint it back gray again so he can film something else.
So they built him another one.
So they went to him and said, we need to build him a new ship. It's something really big. And they built the Super Star Destroyer afterwards. So
And increase their budget at the same time.
well, people, after he did the first movie, they were throwing money at him.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
First movie, he was scrimping and, like maxing out his credit cards and stuff like that to get the movie made. And then the second movie, he had to have janitors come in and sweep all the cash out of the way so they could actually do the film.
Anthony Daniels said on the last day of filming, they said guys that were pushing brooms the day before had cameras filming everything from different angles. They were shooting everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is fun. There was this, I can't remember. I think it was HBO was doing the movie, but it's called Ike Countdown to D-Day, starring Tom Selleck as Dwight Eisenhower. And a really good movie if you ever get a chance to watch it.
He's a little
But they
tall
were doing
for
the
that.
filming. They gave him his budget, and they were doing the filming and all sorts of stuff like that. And then right at the last, little like 3 months out from the end of the movie's filming schedule, they came in and says, we're going to need some of that money back, and we're cutting 1 month off your filming schedule.
Oh.
And it's like, what? Yep, we're sorry. It's just budget. Well, he had gotten most of it already done. It was just the piecing everything together, getting the shots to piece everything together that he hadn't done. So I love what he wound up doing. They had somebody that was going through taking black and white photographs for storyboarding of all these different scenes that we're filming, so that they could. The storyboard tells you how the movie's going to go, so that you can do the acting to go into the next scene, basically. Well, they would go in with these black and white photographers and film all this stuff to get a really sharp image. The colors wouldn't, because you're dealing with camouflage vehicles and stuff like this, the colors wouldn't confuse anything. You'd have really detailed black and white photographs. So the guy was going through taking all these pictures of all this stuff to do the storyboarding, and they wound up using all the storyboard photographs to piece in the individual scenes of the movie together. So it's like they'll do a scene, and then when they want to change to a new scene, there'll be like 3 or 4 or 5 storyboard photos in black and white that montage into one another, and then go into the next scene that they'd already filmed. And he said, it's kind of funny. We came in under time and under budget. And then they said, hey, you did a great job and didn't cost us any money. Would you like to make another movie? No.
Not for y'all.
No. Well, you know the story about Game of Thrones, and how HBO did that one. But the one they did before it, the one that actually made Game of Thrones possible, was Rome, where they did about Julius Caesar and the Civil War and all sorts of stuff. And it was a really great all-star blockbuster movie, but they wound up cutting one of the seasons out of it. It went from it was going to be 3 seasons. They only did 2. And it's one of the, they got a lot of complaints about how they didn't portray the history of the movie very accurately. Well, they did in the first parts of the movie. They did a really good job portraying the history. The last part of the second season, right before they found out they weren't going to have a 3rd season, they had to they had to take this whole story of Rome and crush it into the last 3 or 4 episodes.
Be right back.
So it made the last part of it kind of made no sense.
Yeah, I can see how that could happen.
So it's kind of funny. All the people that did that kind of turned around and said, we need to do a better job with Game of Thrones. So, right. And again, they pulled the same damn mistake. They screwed up the last season trying to cram everything into that,
Well, and another thing that was not in their favor is George hasn't finished writing the books yet. And probably never will. He's already been paid. Don't pay the contractors before the job is completed.
He's got 3 other stories that are being made into movies right now that have nothing to do with Game of Thrones. Was Rebel Moon one of his?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. He has written a lot of stuff. There are other writers I'd like to see some of their books actually turned into good movies, not cash grab movies. But it may never happen.
So I have something that's a slight change of topic, but is something that I'm surprised Zach isn't in here.
Really?
Astronauts are stuck on International Space Station indefinitely after problems with Boeing Starliner, saying they won't be able to come down until August.
The Starliner that's docked to the space station has 2 parts: the actual capsule that will return to Earth and a service module, kind of like the old Apollo system.
Okay.
The thing is, the service module has most of the thrusters, the ones they had the problems with. Of the 8 thrusters that were on it, 7 of them had problems, and they managed to get most of them back. If I remember the numbers correct, I may have the numbers wrong, but they managed to get all of them working except 1. And one of the things I heard is they're trying to gather data on what's up with the capsule. So and the problem is, of course, once they undock and bring the capsule back, they detach the service module burns up, and they can't get any data off of it. So the longer it stays up there and they're poking buttons, they can figure out what the hell's wrong with the service module. Me personally, I think if you were to tear that service module apart, you'd find a bunch of 10 millimeter sockets floating around.
Entirely possible.
Yes.
I bet if you did a tool inventory at Boeing Aerospace, they're missing a bunch of 10 millimeter sockets. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yes.
You know, it's bad when
So here's my headcanon for that. It's not just the Boeing 10 millimeter sockets. It's all the 10 millimeter sockets that have gone missing. It's like the sock that goes missing in the dryer. You know, they all went to a different dimension. They have now come back in the Starliner service module.
Somebody needs to write a story where a guy invents a hyperspace portal, like a Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they turn it on, because they used 10 millimeter sockets to bolt the thing together, every time they turn it on, it starts sucking in 10 millimeter sockets from all over the planet.
And on the other end,
and everybody's like, yay, the portal works, the portal works. What's that clattering noise? And when you look at the little ramp that comes out of the portal, there's a bunch of 10 millimeter sockets rolling down the ramp. It's like, what the hell is that? And somewhere out at Area 51, in a cave, in a bunker, with this portal, the floor is just littered with 10 millimeter sockets.
No. You missed a good one. You got.
Why do I picture Michaela going, ooh, 10 millimeter sockets in a Stargate? Okay.
You've got this backstop of railroad ties about 10 feet deep. And whenever they open that portal, 10 millimeter sockets spurt out of it at warp speed and bury themselves in the railroad ties. And people think we need a new neutrino detector. We need a 10 millimeter socket detector is what we need.
Those freaking things will disappear with a camera on them.
You know what's worse?
What?
You go to the store and you buy a socket you desperately need. Then you get it home and you find out it fits the wrench you don't own.
Were they 1/2 inch or 3/4?
These look like 3/4.
Oh, it's official. There's not a 3/4 wrench anymore. It's 12/64.
Okay, well, almost nothing I own is anything but metric anymore. So,
no, if you look at the shims on Fords for the front end alignment, they're labeled 12/64.
I could probably go all day without even finding a Ford in this county that was built after 1967.
So it uses the 3/16.
Don't confuse Joe Dog with math conversion factors.
Well, we were just talking about 3/4 inch, and he said 12/64. So I'm running the math. I'm like, that doesn't add up.
Oh, Carl, isn't there an adapter for those? Yes. Buy the socket wrench that they actually fit. I've done that. That's
now,
the best adapter.
Harbor Freight sells a set of sockets. It's the 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drive. It's like 12 sockets, and they're all 10 millimeter.
And the box is still empty by the time you get it home.
2 are gone.
2 are gone. Yeah, that's the tax. They take them out at the checkout counter.
You want to really
you put them in the bag. You get out to your truck. You open up the bag. 3 are missing.
You want to really freak people out? Go to Harbor Freight and buy you about 20 or 30 10mm sockets and just go around and leave them sitting around. Like put one in the mailbox, put one in the freezer, put one, yeah.
Oh,
Super glue one to the to its position in the toolbox.
yeah. I'm surprised one of the maintenance men didn't do that to another one of the maintenance men at work. Not because they didn't like each other, but just because at that particular factory, uh, it was very difficult to find one of the maintenance men that wasn't a practical joker.
I have seen somebody that, because people were practical jokers, took a bicycle lock, one of the long master locks, the big U-shaped thing on it, and master locked his 10mm socket into his toolbox so that it could not be removed without damaging something. And you know what? It's pretty easy to pick a master lock.
Yep.
I found out how easy it is to open a stuck combination lock years ago.
Blowtorch. Oh.
1 3/4 wrench. You never use that.
5-pound ball peen hammer.
Yeah, same principle. If at first you don't succeed, hit it with a bigger
Percussive
hammer.
maintenance.
Percussive maintenance. Yes, indeed. This is the technology that took us to the moon and got us back alive. If it don't work, smack it. Damn, sounds like something we should do to some teenagers, right?
I like the bicycle rotary chain locks.
You'll have to refresh my memory on that one.
You know, it has the like 4 or 5 number wheels.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So easy to open.
Because nobody ever sets the combination anything but 0 0 0 0.
No. You just pull on it and you start rotating the first one. And once you hit the right one, it'll move. And then you rotate the other one. Boom, and you just undo it. Now that's good. I don't care who you are. That's good.
That's what I said about the pizza Lindsay fixed.
Hey, Dan, this will ring the bell.
Look like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No. Poor man hamburger. Yep. You can't afford
okay.
it done, so you put it on bread.
Yeah. Appalachian hamburger bun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're lucky you didn't have to bake your own bread.
Well, gentlemen, I am going to back out early tonight because waking up
There's the
at
door.
4:30 a.m. with the wife.
I do not envy you.
Yeah, it's taking a toll.
Hope you have a better day tomorrow.
Of course, Joe, you know, I say this out of love, but there's the door.
My door's farther back that way.
Mm.
And
up
Joe
the
Dog, you
stairs.
never say anything out of love other than, please don't hit me with that frying pan again, Donna.
That's how you lodge a complaint.
But y'all have a good night.
All right.
And
Thanks for
I'm
coming
glad-
by, Joe. We do appreciate you being here.
Thank
Where
you
is
very
Zach?
much.
Zach needs to get in here.
You've already
one-
told him that, and Dawn
Yes.
was going to come in, but I think she got lost.
Yeah. Well, one last little thing that I just read on the internet before I go. Apparently, Shelley Duvall passed.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
I was wondering why I was seeing her picture all over the darn place today.
Now, Joe, before you leave, I got a question to ask you.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between a genealogist and a gynecologist?
One will look up your family tree. The other one looks up the family bush.
Yep.
That one was almost good, Joe Dog.
Innuendo. That's an Italian gynecologist.
I kept
What's
meaning
the,
to.
what's the difference between a puppy and a nearsighted gynecologist? Nothing. They both have wet noses. Good night, folks.
Oh, yeah, that's why it was almost good. He stole it from Donna. Donna Carly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, learn this week. The Hakatua girl, spit on that thing, is from Belfast, Tennessee.
That
still have
actually explains a lot.
Yeah.
I still have successfully evaded knowing anything about that, except I keep hearing about it.
She's
Yeah.
not complaining because I think she's up to $40,000 now that she's made off that one damn joke.
65 in merch and 2 appearances at $30,000 each. Make hay while the sun shines, baby.
Hey, that's a retirement fund right there, or at least a
But-
good beginning on one.
Yeah. But
Decent
she's
car.
from Belfast, Tennessee. You know, the Titanic was from Belfast, Ireland. Now the Belfast both have something famous for going down. What?
I bet this all got started on Cinco de Mayo.
Actually, I think it was.
Oh, Carl, my sweet summer child, the more than $50 that she got before. Carl,
20
I hate to tell you this, but it was only 20 for everybody else. Thank you, T-Bone Burnett.
Go ahead and pull these off so I can have room for the next ones. Yeah, I got cue cards over here.
I sort of do. I've got my Discord.
That's the best comeback, Carl, but I'm not posting it.
I am. I'm putting that sucker up there. Here we go.
You know, some guys like the Hakatua. Me personally, I like to hear Pac-Man. Never mind. What? Are you looking? Are you looking for your lightning bolt, Dan?
No, I know exactly where I put that. It's just collateral damage is a thing.
What was that Hispanic woman?
You'll have to narrow it down more than that. Otherwise,
I know, she was very popular through the 70s and into the 80s. Did the hoochie coochie thing.
Xavier Cugat's wife. Oh God!
I know exactly. Blonde, blonde curly hair.
Long, big hair and big
Come
other
on,
things.
Carl.
And
Charo.
Charo. Yes,
Charo.
thank you, Carl.
I knew Carl would know it.
Well, I should know it too, but if you hadn't asked me, I would have been able to think of it. But deer in the headlights moment. Yeah, I'm surprised. I remember she was married to Xavier Cugat, though, or Javier Cugat.
I didn't know who that. I didn't know that. That's new stuff.
Well, he's the one that taught her how to play guitar.
Oh, okay.
back in the day, she was in everything. I mean, just Muppet Show, Tonight Show, just
Celebrity roasts.
But is she on? Well, she was on Hollywood Squares and
Love Boat.
what was it? Was she in Laugh-In?
No, I don't think.
I don't think so. I think that
She
was
was
a
on
little bit
something
before.
like it. Now I'm going to have to look this up. Damn it!
She could have been.
I think
it's almost the right era.
I
Yes,
didn't
Carl, there was a huge difference between their ages.
I didn't know it, but Terry Garr was in the 1966 Batman series.
Yes,
Yes.
it was a bit part, but
Mm-hmm. I forget whether she did just one episode or two.
It was just one. It was a street scene.
You want to know what Charo's last movie that she's made was? Came out in 2021. The Bitch Who Stole Christmas. I kid you not. She was also in Sharknado 5. See here.
She could have been in Mars Attacks as the secret weapon. Given her vocal range, she could have
She
hit
was
those.
on The Love Boat, Facts of Life, Marblehead Manor, The Jefferson, Fantasy Island, Concord, Airport 79, Chico and the Man, Brady Bunch Variety Hour. Maybe that's where
Yeah, Airport 79, Concord. Yeah. We're running out of shit to crash.
Coochie Coochie was what she called her dog, short for Cuchillo. There was a time when she could have been just as much a national treasure as Dolly Parton.
Yep. You saw the...
She was from Murcia, Spain.
Yeah.
Now, y'all seen the Dolly videos I've been posting here lately? A Dolly telling her jokes to Jimmy Fallon?
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware of them, but since you post them, I don't watch them.
She was telling one about the bear down in Sevierville.
Yeah.
That would outside like a general store in a cage, and people would buy it, Coca-Colas, and it would turn the Coca-Cola up and drink it. One old redneck, mean and all that, filled one of the bottles with gasoline. Bear grabbed it, drank it, and went plumb crazy. Took off running down the road towards Pigeon Forge. About halfway there, fell over.
Ran out of gas. That joke is older than both of us put together.
I think that joke is older than Dolly Parton. Matter of fact, I'm quite certain they came out with that joke about 15 minutes after they invented gasoline.
She had Jimmy Fallon right there on the edge of the table. Listen, hook, line, and sinker.
Mm-hmm. She can tell a story. Yeah, I believe that's probably about the quickest way to end a political career is for one of them to attack St. Dolly.
Trump already did. I was just kidding, Dave. I was just kidding. Honest.
Oh.
Oh, that's where Zach at his lunch.
Is there?
okay.
What are they launching?
Another
couple of
batch of
couple of
Starlink.
bottle rockets in Canada.
That was me, Don.
Yeah. Was that a black and white clip or was it color?
No, it's color. That was from the Barbara Mandrell show.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw somebody do that same thing on Porter Wagner once.
I think darn near everybody did that at one time or another. So, heck, I can't drive to Dalton without making Dolly Parton jokes.
Best part of it, Dolly asked Barbara Mandrell, she says, "Who you got in there, you two sisters?"
I used to like that show a lot.
What?
The Barbara Mandrell show. It's her and her two sisters.
Yep.
I beat her to it.
Well, on Dawn's behalf, she was drugged up today. So.
You
Almost green room myself. Okay. We'll not go there.
Hey, Dan. Could you
Yes.
imagine if we all started talking like this and Dawn listening?
I think you'd be better off trying to talk like the Micro Machine guy. She's just going to cuss you again.
I don't know. John was doing a pretty good impression of Stephen Hawking there.
Oh, there it is.
It's that Chattanooga internet again, isn't it? And Joe Dog froze, throwing popcorn in his mouth. You know, things have really gone to hell when I've got the best internet of all three of us. Considering all the ribbing I took in the early days of the show when mine was really bad.
There, you fat ass. Boom.
Well, thank you. But I've been losing weight. I started that intermittent fasting thing. Wait till the afternoon, then I only eat 2 pizzas instead of 3.
I thought you was going to say towards the end of the month, you run out of food because there ain't no more money left.
I was going to say, back in the old days, we called that hunger.
No, am nowhere near running out of money.
Apparently, my mom used to send all my sandwiches to China or something. I'm not sure exactly how that worked. But children in China are starving.
Go.
No wonder they want to declare war on us. They got your old bologna sandwiches.
No, they probably want to declare war because they ain't no more bologna sandwiches coming in.
Yeah. You know, I need to go to the store and get a couple cans of potted meat.
Oh,
I have not had a potted meat sandwich in forever.
I used to absolutely love deviled ham and devil roast beef. And then I got a can and opened it up, and there is a 1.5 inch diameter lump of grease in the middle of it. And I have not bought another can since then.
When we were in the military, you know, everybody buys what we call pogie bake. It's just civilian, you know, you get civilian food because you get tired of eating the same rations over and over again. So everybody go and buy the sardines and the deviled ham and, you know, stuff like that. The only problem was bread. It was hard to take bread into the field, and they didn't order a lot of that MRE bread that was really cool. So you wound up with MRE crackers, putting all that stuff on MRE crackers, which ain't bad, just
No.
different.
I mean, that's the way I ate the deviled ham and the devil roast. Instead of making sandwiches out of it, I smear it on saltine crackers and dribble on a little bit of mustard, and hey.
Well, I admit I've never had sardines. They just can't do it.
Lindsay will buy tins of mackerel for the omega-3 content, and I just look at her and go, honey, I won't even use that for fish bait, much less eat it.
Well, now, of course, salmon patties. I'll make salmon.
Yes, definitely. Oh, thank you. That's something I got to put on a grocery list.
Oh God! Oh no!
What?
Yeah.
No. Hey, I grew up Catholic. We had salmon patties every Friday for, I know, 18, 19 years. No.
I love salmon patties, but you got to do the gravy with the fresh peas in it. I mean, it's just you got to. That's
no.
You know.
I'll be back.
You use crushed either Ritz crackers or saltines to make the breading for it. Fry it up all nice and golden brown. Then you put some ketchup on it and you eat it.
I use cornmeal, but there's this gravy you can make that's kind of a sweet gravy that's got it's got fresh green peas in it. You can't use corn. You can't use the mushy corn stuff. It's got to be, you know, fresh green peas. And then you're talking. And then
you may be talking, but I ain't listening.
Then I like the sardines with mustard. But I am blessed that I can eat anything.
Well, of course, you retired from the Army. You've had to eat anything.
No, the Army has some of the pickiest eaters I've ever met in my life. I know. I was the guy that didn't care which MRE they gave me. But you would get people fighting and arguing over which MRE out of the case. There were people that remembered the way the cases were packed, so that when somebody opened the case, they'd reach down, grab one, and they knew which one it was going to be before they even saw the number on it.
Yeah.
Me, I didn't care. I always said, you know, I'll take whatever's left. Y'all pick whatever you want. And my squad loved me because I was not picky. And then you get some people. We had one guy who was a vegetarian, Okay, so he wanted extra vegetable stuff, and then fortunately they started coming out with vegetarian MREs. So, some of them are pretty good. They're usually some sort of pasta dish, so it's not too
Yeah.
terrible. And then, see, I went through several iterations of MREs. I remember the old brown bag ones; they were dark brown, and then later they came out with the desert tan packaged ones after Desert Shield. And the original ones, the brown bags, there were some in there that were really good, and some that were horrible. Chicken a la king. Anybody who's ever had it is right now going, yeah. And chicken a la king, you had to use the entire bottle of Tabasco sauce just to get that one to go down. They had two. They had beef patty dehydrated and pork patty dehydrated. They dehydrated them so much they would not absorb water because of all the grease that was still like dehydrogenated vegetable grease or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
They would float in water. They would not soak up. You had to cook them. You had to have hot water, or it was like eating. Literally, it was like a big chunk of dog food. Looked, smelled, and I imagine tasted just like dog food. Now, if you get some boiling water,
you've had black pudding.
if you could get some boiling water on top of that thing, wasn't too bad. Especially if you knew how to make gravy. I knew guys that in Germany, I can't remember it. The company in the United States is called Knorr. It had a different name in Germany.
Okay, that's the ones that do the little pasta in the envelope things,
and the beef bouillon cubes and stuff like that. Okay, and they used to have these packets of gravy that it was gravy concentrate. And it came a little. There were two of them. It was either the salad dressing packet you tore off the top of it, or it was in a little peel top like pudding. You put it, and you mix it half and half with hot water, and you get a small serving of gravy. And if you could get that with one of those and some hot water to cook the patty in, they weren't too bad after that. But you had to have some. Then now, they had dehydrated strawberries. Everybody loved those, but they went bad quick. You had to be careful about those. And then dehydrated peaches, which I loved those. And they were tasty and they lasted a good long while. Let's see, what was the other one? Applesauce.
Gotta go down the hall. I'll be right back.
While I was gone, I got cussed out by my husky.
They do that.
We're talking about, me and Donna got talking about how old the dogs were. I said, looks like we're going to have to get some more puppies. And I got a rock. I was like, gee. I've never been cussed out by a dog, but by God, I think I was.
That's a lie. You used to have chihuahuas. Those things. That's all they do is cuss.
Yeah.
I'll kill you, fucker.
But yeah, while I was talking about it, he was giving me this look, and I said, "Yeah, we need to get some more I call them pupskis."
Pupskis.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm going language. Oh, so what have you been up to lately, John?
Beating the heat. We cut down that big tree in the backyard because it was going downhill fast from the tornado back in 2011. We thought we could save it. We couldn't. So we cut down the tree. And it has made the house miserable.
You didn't realize how much shade it was putting up?
It was blocking a good chunk of the afternoon sun from hitting the house. and it was right in front of the air conditioner, the heat exchanger for the air
Yeah.
conditioner. So it kept the heat exchanger in the shade. Now the heat exchanger is in full sun, so the air conditioner is not working as well as it used to. The pig is just miserable from the heat. He doesn't walk very well. If he'd go up into the corner of the yard, there's a fig tree he can hide in, but he won't do that. He stays right there next to the air conditioner.
You may you may laugh at me, but if you built one of those privacy fences on the sunward side of the heat and air unit, it will help.
You know, I thought about that actually because I do have some of that stuff laying around. But it's just we got an easy up that we put out there for the pig, and it actually, if I put it close to the heat exchanger, it helps in the late afternoon. But the sun doesn't actually hit that heat exchanger until about 1.
Oh, when it's needed the most.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course it gets sunlight until about 7 o'clock. So that's
Yeah. Well, our heat and air unit went out years ago, and then they're wanting stupid amounts for new heat and air units now. So I bought one of those new Medea air conditioners that the window closes down on.
the one that's got the slit in the middle.
Yeah. And believe it or not, you can't even hear the thing run. And the fan on the inside will cut off when the room gets to the temperature or go down to just a low blow. And once it gets up to where it kicks in, it'll just slowly raise. And I was reading the instruction booklet. There's a switch somewhere on the unit that you can flip it, and it turns it into a heater for the winter.
Well, that's better than opening the window and turning it around backwards and closing the window again.
Yeah.
And having to go outside to turn it on or off.
Well, it's got a remote.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. We had those Mitsubishis makes them. And it's half the units outside on the wall.
Oh.
Like and then half the units inside. Yeah, the big, you put it up near the ceiling. And you only have to drill one small hole
to run your lines.
To run all the stuff through between the two of them. And they're nice, but they smell funny. It's just something. Yeah, they got a. Everywhere we ran them, I don't know. It's something about it would. It's some sort of ozone something that they do. Yeah. It's supposed to kill mold and mildew in the unit. That I'm not sure how it works. I know of it. I didn't read up on it, but and it smells weird because we had 8 of those things in a concrete bunker.
Did it work?
Oh, it kept the bunker nice and cool, but it was like foot and ass every time you walked into the door. It was like
that may have been everybody in there.
No. You don't understand. This is when nobody was there. Of course, we didn't run them all. So.
John would sneak in when nobody was there.
No. Well, we'd all leave and go do our missions and then come back. So, it's like, and we at night we would open the windows on the bunker to get fresh air and run fans just to get fresh air in. So, and we used a lot of bleach. You kind of have to, that many people living in a bunker. The one problem with the bunker that we really had is the bathroom was terrible. I don't know who designed the bathroom for this thing, but the drain pipes were 2-inch drain pipes.
No, that ain't gonna work.
Nope. Not with around a bunch of grown men.
No. And the original toilets that were in it were the Asian style stand over it and cup a squat toilets. You don't sit on it, you squat over it because it's built into the floor.
Oh, drunk tank toilets.
Uh,
Don't ask me how I
toilet-
know that.
Toilet, pisser, and shower all in one thing. And the showers were broke. Somebody stole the copper pipe.
You've been to Madison County. No, there's this beautiful house not about halfway between here and the closest convenience store. And we wondered for years why, when the original owners had passed away, nobody ever moved in. It turns out, not long after the original owners passed away, somebody crawled under the house, broke in, they ripped all the wiring out and all the copper pipes, busted the walls all to bits.
There's a story, and I want to say where it was, that just recently, the guy saw this custom car sitting in somebody's driveway, and he got up underneath it and was stealing a catalytic converter. Turns out the car had hydraulic suspension. And while he was in there pulling this catalytic converter out, he yanked one of the hydraulic hoses loose. So the car went and crushed him to death. They found his body underneath the car the next morning.
Sometimes justice is swift.
Karma. You just got to love it sometimes.
I've seen the video where the guy turned the pit bulls loose on the guy under the car. Imagine being under there and having two pit bulls, one grabbing one leg, other grabbing the other one, and trying to make a wish.
Oh, they need to come up with a catalytic converter taser. It's not.
They need to come up with a catalytic converter that doesn't contain platinum and make people want to steal it.
Oh, I was working at a plant out in Texas that did compact disc. And for those of you who don't know about compact disc, they contain a platinum alloy sheet. That's what the laser is printed on. And that was some serious. That was like, nuclear war type security. You weren't allowed to go anywhere near the platinum vault where they pressed the platinum foil or whatever it was. So
there were parts of the glass melting furnace at Certainty. I think they were the thermocouples to measure the actual temperature inside the molten glass, and they were platinum, and they were locked up in the only safe you could see in the entire 15 acre building. And when they had to knock down the glass melter and rebuild it, there was one year where they lost one thermocouple that had not been pulled out before the bricks got knocked down. They called everybody in management from the supervisor level up to go out and prowl through this pile of busted up brick looking for that thing, because it was platinum, and it was several ounces of platinum. I was just going, when you gonna bring in the guard dogs and the barbed wire and towers?
It's kind of funny. When I was working at that plant, I didn't care about the platinum, but I would have liked to have seen how they made the foil.
Yeah.
Because there was part of the plant that was all clean room stuff.
Yeah, would have to be.
That was one of them. That and the actual the actual part where they made the compact disc. The closest I ever got to that room was I had to move these big palletized containers of raw pellets, the acrylic plastic stuff. And they just had these huge bins of these acrylic pellets. And I had to take a pallet jack over there and drop that off one day. That was it. I got to prep for making compact disc.
Did they ever find it? Dawn, as far as I know, after 6 weeks of everybody in management getting a taste of what it's like to work in midsummer in Georgia in the sunshine,
They gave up.
no, they did. They did not find it. I'm very sure that the people that hauled the fire brick away had much better luck.
Probably.
My theory is that somebody found it before it actually got to the pile of rubble, which is why nobody in officialdom was ever able to find it. But we didn't have anybody retire unexpectedly and show up in a sports car. So
there was a guy. It's on YouTube who, smelts out, chemically smelts out gold and all that stuff. Spent like 6 months sweeping the side of the freeway, getting buckets upon buckets upon buckets of the dirt from the road.
Yeah.
Went in, started, doing the panning and the sifting and, cleaning the dirt and all that out. At the end, he wound up with a platinum pellet that big from just all the the platinum blowing out the tailpipes of cars in this big city.
Yeah.
He goes, he said it'd just be cheaper to cut one off and cut it open.
Yeah. There was one story about somebody that found an old politician's badge, the things they give out during promos, elect so-and-so, in a ditch on the side of a highway. And just out of curiosity, they took it to a lab and had it carbon dated. From all the pollution that had blown out of all the tailpipes of all the cars that had ever passed that thing, it gave off a reading that was older than dinosaurs.
Right now, this Starlink launch is about to happen. This is the view.
By taking us at the launch pad following liftoff. We'll be answering those during the coast phase of the first stage as we wait for its entry burn. So we'll be answering.
That's what.
Zach is looking at a cloud layer, waiting for something to light up.
Yeah.
Good night, Carl.
Yeah. Good night, Carl.
Yeah, that would have been about Don. That would have been about a $5,000 to $10,000 lump of platinum with wires sticking out of one end. Ooh, you can almost see something.
T-minus 20 seconds.
Yep.
I imagine it'll light up when the burner goes off.
T-minus 15 seconds.
I imagine they're not going to launch this
9.
No, they launch.
7.
Or did they?
6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Ignition. And lift off of Falcon 9. Go SpaceX. Go Starlink.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
And Falcon 9 has launched
Stage 1
piercing
propulsion
through
is
the
nominal.
fog at Vandenberg Space Force Station, carrying 20 Starlink V2 minis and direct-to-cell
Vandenberg.
satellites to low Earth orbit. 25 seconds into flight, Falcon now already a kilometer and a half in altitude, coming up to over 500 kilometers an hour in speed and gaining. Everything continuing
so
to be
it's-
nominal. You can see the roll
Oh, this
program
would be
there
one
on
of
Falcon
those,
9. We don't always get to see it super clearly,
jellyfish
so
launches.
great to see that there as
Was
Falcon
it?
9 begins hitting southwest from the western space coast. The next major milestone that we expect to come up is Max Q. This is the moment of peak mechanical stress on the vehicles, very critical moment in the count. Let's listen for the call out.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Are y'all getting audio?
I am.
Okay.
Power telemetry nominal.
And Kerry, it's both.
Max Q.
And there we have that call out for Max Q being confirmed. Falcon 9 continuing on a nominal trajectory, T plus 1 minute,
This
20
rocket launch
seconds
brought to you
into
by the
flight,
sultry
continuing to
voice
follow along
of Zach Aldrin.
with its journey. The next milestone will be the beginning of a sequence of events, starting off with MECO, or main engine cutoff. That'll be 2 minutes, 25 seconds into flight. Immediately followed by first and second
MVAC
stage
chill started.
separation. Second
that-
engine
it's-
start, or MVAC engine start.
They're launching
Grid
this
fin
one out
deploy,
of California.
30 seconds
That's
later,
not
followed
fog, that's
by
stench.
fairing deploy.
Um,
Those
That's
two
what?
fairings will
Stench.
be recovered or attempted to be recovered
Yeah.
by a support ship in the Pacific
No,
Ocean.
but
They
yeah,
generally take about 45
Vandenberg
minutes
is
or
known
so
to be
to
fogged in.
descend back to Earth.
Yeah.
Coming up at 2 minutes into flight,
wonder if
Falcon
they did
9
that
now
on purpose.
traveling over 35 kilometers in
Oh, the
altitude,
having the
traveling coming up to
missile
over
range
5,000
in the
kilometers
fog.
an hour in
Yeah.
speed, waiting for the callouts of MECO, first and second
They
stage
launch
separation,
secret stuff and nobody can
MVAC
see
engine
it.
start, and then fairing deployment. Let's listen for the callouts.
I've often wondered why they've never invented an aircraft carrier for launching rockets like this.
China has one.
Sorta.
Yeah.
It's an offshore oil platform.
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
Back ignition.
And you can see a great visual there.
Well, you
of
think that
MECO,
the
first
rocket's
stage
falling away.
separation,
No, the
and MVAC
the booster
engine
falling
start.
away.
There are
No,
grid
the
fins. Let's listen for the call out of
second
fairing
stage is going
deployment.
that fast. Uh-oh, there's a wire hanging out.
There's several. I like the way the
That is not
We're
a
looking
window
nozzle
wiper. That is
heats
something
up
up
and
against
just
the camera.
glows.
Oh, this is kind of
On
cool.
the,
We're looking from
left
the
side of
side of the
your view.
rocket
Fairing
up
separation
toward
confirmed.
the
Great
grid
view inside the
fins.
fairing there as
No,
they
we're looking
separate,
down.
exposing the 20 Starlink
Are we? You
to
sure?
Yeah.
the vacuum of space. You can see very
That's
clearly there, actually,
almost
the
where
13
the
direct to cell, and then
that's
the
the
7
what you're seeing
V2
waving
minis.
across the screen.
3
is
minutes, 30 seconds
one
into
of
flight.
the
This is where
power
we're going to be
cords
answering
to
your
the
guys'
rocket.
comments and questions. You can send
Yeah,
those
but
in
that's
the
the
chat
first stage
by
coming
tagging
down.
us at the launch
Yeah.
pad. We'll be working on answering those live while we go through the coast phase here. The second stage is continuing under power, coming up to 9,000 kilometers an hour in speed, passing 115 kilometers in altitude.
So
The
do
first
they
stage is heading
do they
up to
catch
what's
the
known as
fairings
apogee. This is
nowadays,
its
or
highest point
No, they just
in its
fish
flight.
them out of the
Keep
ocean.
an eye on the speed in the bottom left corner. When the speed starts going up and altitude
When
goes
you'd
down,
almost
we have
capsize
confirmed
that boat,
apogee, completing the ascent of the first stage.
they
and
landed
beginning
one in the
recovery
boat with the
operations as it
parachute,
descends
and the
back
winds were
to Earth,
strong,
to the
and it tied
ship
in, and it
of,
about flipped the boat
course,
completely over.
let me
The
confirm it one
parachute.
more time. Of course, I still love you. They've only got 3. You'd think I'd remember.
be interesting if
Keep
they'd
sending in
make
those
the
comments
fairings
and
like a
questions. We're
boat, so
watching
they'd
for
land in
those,
like those
as
whale
we
boats that you
continue.
can't sink
The
them.
entry burn of the first stage set to begin in about 90 seconds from now. Today's entry burn expected to last 25 seconds.
Well,
This is when they light up a
that's a
few of the
stream of
Merlin
ice.
1B engines to help slow down the vehicle.
With that,
You
that
hope
snaky
so.
looking
re-entry
Yeah.
heating. Shapuli, I'm now emotionally invested into whatever this debris is. Yep. On the right side of your screen, you can see for a moment there a lot of ice buildup on the second stage, something that we don't, depending on the lighting, sometimes we see really well and sometimes we don't.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that's a lot of ice there you can see on the second stage. 5 minutes into flight, the Falcon 9 now beginning its descent back down to Earth.
That's too much.
Second
See,
stage
there's the cord.
Look at that. That's not good.
Kilometers an hour in speed, coming up to 150
That
kilometers
thing's leaky,
in altitude.
isn't it?
Now, SpaceX no longer provides live coverage of Starlink
Yeah, that is
deployment.
looking
But
leaky.
tonight's deployment will occur 59 minutes, 14 seconds into flight, following one
It
final
looks
burn
like
of the
ice
second stage,
busting off
just about
to
6
me.
minutes
Well, I'm
earlier
thinking
than
it's
that.
liquid oxygen, or
Tonight's final
it's
burn,
both the fuels are
STS-2, will last a
cryogenics.
total of
The
1
fuel
second
and the
to
oxidizer are
finalize its
cryogenic, so
burn.
it could be both.
Jenny's asking, is there a launch on the 24th or 25th of this month from Kennedy? So we only actually had confirmation of this launch not even 12 hours ago. So we're getting a little bit slower notice on some of these. Currently, we do not have any launches scheduled
That's not
from
looking pretty.
Kennedy
I'm telling you.
or Cape Canaveral after the
They're,
17th of this month.
I'm wondering
But
if
if you
that's
head
a
over to
leak, or
tlpnetwork.com/launches,
if they were
you can
just
stay up to
because
date
they
on the
launched in
latest
foggy,
launch
rainy
coverage there. That
conditions or
gets
whatever.
updated all the time, automated through our
That's a
systems. So you'll
possibility.
be able to keep an eye
Yeah,
on
really. Just a
that
sheet of
before you,
ice from the
follow
fog.
along.
Well, if rain got into
There
the
we have
fairing
entry
or
burn start
whatever,
up. The first stage beginning its descent
Okay,
back
there's
into
the
the Earth's
re-entry
atmosphere.
burn. Yes.
This burn expected to last about 25 seconds here today.
Well, we watch it hit that stream and just.
Yeah, poof.
Yeah, really.
Well, it's not exploding.
Stage 1, entry burn, shutdown.
And we have entry burn shutdown. That first
Oxygen
stage now
wouldn't, but
free falling
Yeah,
through the
oxygen would
atmosphere and slowing down
flash.
towards the drone ship. Its landing burn is set to begin 7 minutes 49 seconds into flight. So we've got 70 seconds of free fall. Always like to point out, look, we're at 30 kilometers in altitude, still traveling over 5,000 kilometers an hour. But just using those grid fins, the thickness of the atmosphere, and the booster,
boy, is that
it is
speed
going to
dropping
slow down
fast.
in preparation
Yeah.
for its landing.
You'd
And
hate
that's
to be,
just
you'd hate to be
aerodynamic
strapped,
It doesn't do a
braking.
belly flop. It
you'd
does
hate
come
to be
in
strapped
engine
into a
first.
chair in that thing right now.
The second stage continuing under power there, and some amazing views
Stage
of this
1
ice
STS is
breaking
saved.
off and the ice hitting the superheated engine thrust. And you can see it just instantly being vaporized. Some truly incredible videos coming from the second stage.
Because it just lost about 3,000 kilometers
Stage 1,
per hour
24.
in 15 seconds.
Yep.
If you haven't
Stage
yet,
2
make sure
STS
you
is saved.
engage that subscribe button so you never miss another live launch coverage. Docking, undocking,
Where do they
or
land
return to
these
Earth.
things? Do they
Of
land
course,
back?
we are all following along
No,
with
this
the
is
mission
a
of
drone
Starliner.
ship.
We'll bring you full coverage of that when they begin their journey home. We're also counting down to launch of the 5th flight test of Starship, and we do have our 24/7 Starship camera, which you can actually control. Members that are Starbase Explorer or higher do get access after about 24 hours.
I'm gonna have to get filament.
Stage 1, landing burn.
Okay, there we
Landing
go.
burn
Landing
has
burn.
begun.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
Come on, baby. Put the brakes on.
Well, they have
Views of
painted the center.
drone ship
Stage 1,
coming
landing
into
leg
view.
deploy.
You can see even the fog out there, 600-700 kilometers downrange. And we have touchdown, a Falcon 9 booster
Stage 1 landing
63, completing its 19th mission, closely approaching to becoming one of the flight leaders.
Well, they're
Now,
showing
SpaceX, as I
the.
said, no longer provides coverage of deployment. We'll wait here for confirmation of SECO 1. We're expecting that in the next few seconds once we see that speed cut off.
What's flying right
That's
down
going
the
to do it
Gulf
for
of
our live
Baja
launch coverage. Make sure you subscribe so you never
Yeah.
miss another live
or
launch
the
coverage. Join
Baja
us over on the
Peninsula.
TLP Discord. It's
Yeah.
free to join. It's where our community hangs out in between streams, and we'd love to see you there. And make sure you head on over to tlpnetwork.com, click on the shop, and you can get your very own TLP launch gear.
Well, that's enough of that. So. Wow. It's one way to get through 15 minutes of the show.
Hey. And
Did you notice how the deck was glowing that time?
Better lights, you think, or just the fog?
No, no. The metal on the deck was glowing right under that engine.
you put a blowtorch on something and see if it don't heat up quick.
Technically, I think it's 3 blowtorches, isn't it?
No, it's just one.
Just one when they land? I thought there was 3.
They use 3 on the entry burn. Slow it down. Now they have done, 3 on a landing, but half a kilometer up, they cut it to 1. And I can cut that
Oh,
off.
and Kiri, stupid o'clock or armchair rocket science. This would be the kind of thing that would get people changing the topic at a convention at stupid o'clock, and sitting around the screen doing exactly what we were doing, goggling at the
Rocket landing.
rocket landing, the launch and the landing, just gongoozling, basically.
I mean, it's become commonplace that they do it, but people still watch it because they can't believe it's doing it.
Yeah.
I think Monday is a landing back at Cape Canaveral.
Ooh. That should be impressive.
Want me to swing by and pick you up on the way down?
No. I got work to do.
Hell, we'd be home by Tuesday morning. I mean, be pretty much, I'd time it to where I pick you up, we hit the road, and I just tell you, Dan, put on the blindfold so you don't get nervous. And don't look at the speedometer.
Why would I get nervous, Joe Dog?
Ask Chris. There have been times me and Chris have been going to a show in Atlanta. I'm thinking, damn, traffic's running slow. Wait, I think I need to slow down. We're on the deep end of 90.
You have never in your life been on a motorcycle close enough to the back bumper of a Corvette headed for Florida that you could see the lights on her radar detector as the truck drivers are waving as she went past with me right behind her.
You were trapped.
I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to stay where I could see that blinky light on her radio detector on her dash inside the. You know how hard it is to see through the back windshield of a Corvette into the dashboard?
I've only had one speeding ticket in my life. You know why?
They ain't been able to catch her yet.
I didn't trust that damn detector sitting on the dash. I mean, I saw the state trooper before the radar detector went off.
That, and if you just mind your own business, they usually don't jump in behind you. It's all these people that are. They like, yep, he's guilty. I'm after him.
Well, I passed him. I mean, when I passed him, it's like, because he was already, I could see him moving around in the car like, oh, shit.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, hey, Zach.
We were just talking about you.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, you did.
You did. We got
we saw you, you silly man.
Oh, no. This is not the Zach you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, because we were talking about that.
What I did is when I passed him, I just went ahead, got on over into the slow lane, got woed down a little more, got over and pull off, and stopped and waited for him.
Okay, Zach, big question. What was up with all that ice?
They're just hanging out. Went for a ride.
John had a good theory. Because of all the fog
and the rain,
that
a lot of humidity.
Maybe the fairing wasn't fully sealed.
Well, that would be in the inner stage. That would be here.
We can't see it. Uh-oh, he done broke it.
Now's not a good time to be shaving your legs.
You're buzzing bad, man.
You knocked your microphone loose.
Sounds like the toy's playing and it shouldn't.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yes, and we can actually hear you and not a buzzsaw.
Yeah, I need a new cable. This is the inner stage, so that's where the other engine is.
Right.
So that ice was right about there. The fairing is up here.
Oh, okay.
So there's the whole second stage before it. So
but
that
you
ice
noticed
was built
you
up
didn't-
in here.
But you notice you didn't see any ice until after fairing separation. So I'm wondering if it got full up of water, and when they broke it loose, it went dripping down onto the rocket engine. And
Possible.
I
Yeah.
figured it was just condensation from while the rocket was sitting there staged ready to go.
it's the Air Force. It was
Well,
probably
when I have
air.
lunch with Elon, I'll ask him.
All right.
What does he
It was
know?
It was the Air Force. It was probably beer.
He designed that damn truck.
Monster
Don't go
Energy.
knocking the
Oh,
cyber
and
stuff.
congratulations, Zach.
I think go. Very excited.
Zach is
46 days.
do what?
46 days till Florida.
Okay. Alexa, how many days till October 25th? Okay, so you got 106 days for HallowCon.
And I
could've
will know
told
in the next 30 days or not if I will be in Milan or not. Because that is
What?
50-50 right now.
Italy, Milan,
Milan.
Oh,
Because
not
that's still
Mulan,
50-50.
Milan.
Yeah, just for the record, Zach, we have a Milan in Tennessee that makes ordnance for the U.S. Army. Okay, just
I mean, I'll go there too. Can I have a tour?
probably not. No,
You just can't get any samples.
oh, John, you heard about the hiker out at the TNT plant at the park that used to be the TNT plant? Found a bunker that was still sealed.
really.
Someone screwed up.
The TNT back in World War II, they built this plant to make TNT, and they have recently, in the last 20 years, started decommissioning it and turning the property over to industrial. It's now an industrial park.
Yeah.
That's where Volkswagen set up their assembly plant here in Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have a bunch of bunkers out there. And from what I understand, they still have companies out there that make ordnance. They just don't do a lot of big ordnance.
But yeah, they found one. It wasn't even on the map.
Oh.
If somebody ain't careful, some future factory's going to have a nice basement.
I know some rocket companies that can't get off the ground that could use some TNT.
Yeah.
I don't know if TNT would burn fast enough to be a rocket propellant.
Or they could like throw it in front of them and detonate it to slow them down so they can actually, bring their spacecraft home.
I suggest the suppository form for them.
That's one way to undock your ship.
Permanently.
Get some executive to pull his thumb out and do something.
But yeah, they
Well, the big
notified
question-
the Army to come pick it up, and it went to Redstone.
Aw. Well, now the big question with the space station is Russia's now approved their space station for development by 2028, the start of it. So they've only said yes to the ISS till 2028. Everyone else has said 2030. So what's going to happen when Russia's like, we out? A third of the space station's Russian.
Hey, we out. We're taking it with us. We need it for ours. Could they do that? Could they use that?
Is that physically possible?
Not all of them. Some of the segments, yes, but the center segment is Russian. The first segment of the ISS was Russian. People don't want to remember that, but it was. America did not make the space station. They did in partnership, but they were not first.
Well,
And that's
you
why
would
Russia
think
claims
that
it is their station.
They need to invite some Ukrainian astronauts up to the station, and just to make the Russians sweat.
no, they just throw the Russians out the airlock.
I'm pretty sure their sections are still leaking, so
Don't even need the airlock. Just close the door and stand back.
We got Starliner leaking, other than we turned off its valves. We got the Russians leaking on this side. Every now and again, they just decide to fire a Soyuz engine. It sounds totally safe.
I think the Russian sections would be fine if
Oh.
somebody quit drilling holes in the walls.
Ukrainians. Anyway, supposedly we've only got a few minutes here, or a couple minutes. Supposedly SpaceX is supposed to be building a thruster for the ISS to deorbit it.
Yeah, so they've won the contract to destroy the International Space Station. That's the headline. SpaceX will destroy the International Space Station. If you want to be sensationalized, they won a contract from NASA to take one of these things and build it custom. That it's basically on a Dragon model that it will dock to station and then fire its engines for a really long time and deorbit the entire station in the designated area in 2030, 2031. And they've now confirmed it will be in one piece. They will not be closing anything. It is just going to be full hog ISS coming in. So,
will Starliner still be there when they do it? No.
Well, we'll see.
Of course it will.
Stayliner.
That's one way to get it back.
But if you're ultra rich and have a yacht, I would love to go for a cruise just outside the re-entry zone with a really big camera. Call me.
No, what I'm picturing is Elon said, "Okay, you have paid us to deorbit the ISS. Yeah, we'll get it."
Makes you wonder how many cameras are going to be on that thing if Elon's going to deorbit it.
Well, the thing I've even debated if a petition's worth it. Like, I personally think they should take this Cat Dragon, boost it to a medium Earth orbit where it'll stay for like 500 years, and designate it a World Heritage Site, just like all the Apollo landing sites.
I like that idea better.
I like
Russia
that
and
idea.
China,
Yeah, I don't see any reason to deorbit it.
They don't need to live on it. Shut it down. Just let it hang out.
The big problem with that, space debris.
If it gets hit, then yes.
You get the Kessler. Yeah.
But if they depressurized it, it'd just puncture a hole. It wouldn't pop.
Yeah, but
and Russia and China have agreed to not touch the Apollo sites, just like we've agreed not to touch their sites. So could we deem it the first, interplanetary heritage site?
Did you ever
first orbital heritage site?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets?
Bits of it.
Where they just kept building the International Space Station until it got so big they had to move it away from Earth because it was affecting gravity.
Yeah.
And it just set it off into space as an embassy. And
that's the plan with some of the next stations that'll be built by the end of the decade.
Yeah, it turned into Babylon 5.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not far away.
Time to touch the face of God.
Well, we're not going to do that. We're just going to play national anthem and go to static. Don't have enough time for that, so I guess we'll. I'm not going to be here Saturday night because I'll still be coming back from Knoxville. But you guys have fun and behave.
We'll have
fun.
Good
night, everybody.
Good night.